I'm Becky, and my story is a little embarrassing because, well, my dad's always been a loser, ever since I've known him. I always knew there was something weird about my family. My mom was the man of the house. She was in charge of everything, and Dad would never argue with her. Also, Mom was the main breadwinner. Dad, on the other hand, never had a normal full-time job. Instead, he would do odd jobs, mostly involving car repairs. Apparently, it didn't pay all that much, and Mom argued with him a lot over that. Over time, her criticism became unbearable, even to me. It might sound like my mom was some kind of monster, but I didn't blame her because I knew she was burning the candle at both ends trying to pay the bills. But I still couldn't stand it when she was scolding my dad, so usually I just got out of the house and went to hang out with my friends. I looked different back then. Purple hair, dark clothes, piercings. I can now say for sure that I was in bad company. It wasn't just about dyed hair, piercings, or tattoos, but it was about their mindset. My friends didn't care much about anything. Some of them even dropped out of school. And the worst thing is that I was becoming just like them. I started skipping classes and having problems with other students. One day, when Mom was nagging my dad as usual, he flipped, grabbed his belongings, not a whole lot really, and left the house. At first, me and my mom both thought he would return eventually. And time passed, and Dad didn't come back. And I felt really sorry for him because I knew he wouldn't make it on his own. But the next thing is, Dad didn't even try. He filed for unemployment benefits and rented a tiny apartment next to my school. After that, I felt miserable, especially when I saw my neighbors and classmates' fathers with their careers, hobbies, aspirations. Whereas mine was sitting on his couch watching TV day and night, it seemed like total apathy had seized him and something needed to be done. But what? My mom also had a hard time since she had to support our small family all by herself. I decided I had to help and started searching for a part-time job. It turned out that no one wanted to hire a sort of goth-looking high school girl. I walked into many businesses, but time after time I wouldn't get the job. I had almost lost hope when I saw a busy coffee place not far from home. Surprisingly, the owner didn't look down on me. He just said that I needed to look more appropriate if I wanted the job. So I dyed my hair back to black. I never really liked it being purple anyway. And changed my eccentric clothes for a more classy look. Okay, what I thought was a classy look. But anyway, I got the job. I was so happy I could help my mom. I was actually taking the uniform with me to school because right after classes, I would run quickly to the coffee shop to work. I started off as a dishwasher/kitchen helper, so at first I did a lot of, washing and mopping, obviously. It was boring, but I was kind of ready for it to be that way. But in less than a month, I got promoted and became a waitress. Things have gotten more fun since then. But at the same time, I had to learn a lot of new names fast, like mochaccino, ristretto, macchiato, and so many more. There were always customers in our coffee shop, which meant there was always some work for me to do. And it was great because I liked the atmosphere there. Also, my boss was an incredibly kind, calm person, and smart too. Because of my tight schedule, I didn't really have time left for my friends. I felt bad about it and texted them a few times, asking them to forgive me and telling them to come in and have some coffee. But they wouldn't even reply. None of them. Can you imagine? That day I realized that they were not my friends. At about the same time, I started doing much better in school. My boss even encouraged me to save half my paycheck for college. But the most significant event in the past few months happened yesterday, when I was over at my dad's place. We were watching a show on TV, and the show host asked a little girl, "Who do you want your future husband to be like?" And the girl replied, "Like my daddy." When my dad turned his head to me and asked the same question, smiling, I hesitated. He expected me to say something similar to what that little girl said, but I couldn't. I just sat there, silent. That same moment, Dad sank into deep thought. I didn't mean to hurt him, but at the same time, I couldn't lie to him. I wanted to leave because I didn't want to see my dad suffer, and when I was about to stand up, Dad raised his head and looked at me and said, "I get it now." For some reason, for the first time, I believe him. I love my dad no matter what, and I hope his life will improve like mine has. As for me, I'm proud I realized that my responsibility is incredibly important in time and didn't let my friends and attitude drag me down. Share this video if you know people who need some kind of sign to change their life. I would be glad if this video could help someone understand something important. Please subscribe if you want more stories like